Good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie Paul of Paul's Covered Calls, and I've done the COVID pivot, replacing doggies to dollars. So I'm an amateur investor, and I appreciate your time as I share my stories, trades, and thought processes. So this is me. Hello, I'm Stephanie, and recently got a haircut. I've been to the stylist maybe twice during COVID, and you realize it's time to go when Sweet Pea, my dog, who you'll soon meet here, has been to the groomer more often than I've been to the stylist. So COVID has affected everyone in varying degrees. But for me, Covered Calls is my go-to moneymaker at this time. All right, let's get to it. This is the all-important board of dog erectors. And this is Sweet Pea and myself. And also, ironically, we have the same initials. All right, so this discussion is going to be about buying back covered calls. And so buying back something, it means you have to initially sell something. So you're buying back something that you have already offered sell to open, and you have a previous open position, an existing open position. And buying back a covered call for various reasons. For me, 9 times out of 10 is because I want to keep the stock. Again, I want to keep the stock, and my strike price happens to be set too low. And I have a separate presentation upcoming dealing specifically with some stock that I own, Clovis, and that was a buyback, roll out, and roll up position. And I will show you my filled orders that represent that, along with a price spike, and showing you the candlesticks as to why I did what I did. So here we are. You have an existing covered call. You decide to buy it back. And so what you are effectively doing is you are buying to close. So here is a screenshot. I have CGC. I have an open position, 3 contracts. Again, quiz question. I have 3 contracts. How many shares? You've got this 300 shares. And there's a lot of information here. Strike price. Right here, $27. When does it expire? Because again, covered calls always have an expiration date. Right here, June 4th. And then this next slide is, you have an open position. How do you get it back? You have to go to your chart. You have to make sure everything is similar to your covered call, that being the date, expiration date, and the strike price, which is here, $27. And again, this is the same screen that you will use for selling to open your covered calls. The one exception is right here, buy to close. So again, it's your drop-down menu. You're buying to close that position. And I want to say, when you sell to open, that's when you have money in your account. When you buy to close, you're actually paying this money to buy it back. So I want you to realize that covered calls aren't a freebie. You do have to come to the table with some money. So in this case, you are going to spend some money to buy back your open position. Same information right here as your covered call, but this is where it's different. And I just want to point this out, is you have bid, mid, and ask. Sometimes these values are close, sometimes they're not. So if you want to buy back 1, 2, 3 covered calls, you're going to be looking in this range, this mid to ask. But I have to tell you that whenever I've bought back my position, I have never paid the ask price. I've always entered in something in the middle or something on this side. So I just want you to realize you're going to have to pay some money, but you don't necessarily always need to pay the ask price. Okay, and then similarly, you sell to open a covered call, same thing here. You buy to close right here, buy to close. Now, quiz question. What happened? Which stock was this? I'm pointing right at it. The ticker symbol is Nikola. Bane of my existence, but I've made so much money. And unfortunately, I've spent a few $100 to buy some of these things back. And so for me, it was the $18. I bought it back and I had to spend some money. I am not perfect. I had too low of a strike price, and Nikola had 2 consecutive weeks of an uptick, and I didn't take that into consideration. So here we are. I had to spend $118 to buy back 1 contract. And actually, I'm very pleased that I did, because I now get to do it all over again. I get to make a covered call for the following week or 2 weeks of expiration and eventually make this back. You won't get it right every time. I did not get it right for this week. I bought it back and I'm going to start over again. And I'm going to tell on myself. This was done on a Thursday. Right here's the date. I technically did not need to buy this back, because if you go and look at the stock price for Nikola, it ended up closing just around $17. So technically I did not need to buy this back, but I'm glad I did, because Nikola fluctuates. And so my thought was, if I don't buy it back on Thursday, it's going to be $20 on Friday. And even though it's approaching expiration, I probably would have paid more to buy back this $18 strike price than I did on Thursday. So that didn't happen. It actually ended up closing stock price closer to 17. And another note, the reason I bought this back is over the course of my learning and doing, I have had some covered calls that have been assigned early. So that's one reason, yet another reason why I wanted to buy this back sooner rather than later. So that concludes the quick video on how to buy back a covered call. My reason is mainly because I want to keep the stock. Comment, subscribe. I appreciate your time. More to come, more to share. And a quick disclaimer, my thoughts are my own, my opinions are my own, and my trading processes are my own as well. See you on the next video. Thanks so much for your time.